Ever get this like weird feeling like your body's running on autopilot and you're just kind of along for the ride?
I mean, we basically live in these crazy biological machines 24/7, but how much do we really know about what's going on in there?
Today, we're going deep.
No, like seriously deep into all the intricate, surprising, and honestly, sometimes just plain weird stuff about your own body.
And get this, our source material for this deep dive is a bunch of really cool facts that were originally put together in Portuguese.
Talk about a global perspective on human biology, right?
It was seriously like piecing together this crazy puzzle. But before we get too lost in, international research, how would I just hit you with a few mind-blowing things right off the bat?
Okay, so for starters, did you know that your brain, that 3-pound marvel we all have it, can actually generate enough electricity to, get this, power a light bulb?
It's true.
And that little fact actually tells you a lot about just how much energy our brains need to function.
It's billions of neurons all talking to each other with these little electrochemical signals, constantly firing. And that takes a lot of juice.
Okay, my mind is like officially blown, but it gets weirder. Ready for this? So you know how we're always hearing about stomach acid, like how it breaks down our food and all?
Turns out that stuff's so powerful it can dissolve metal.
Now, it's important to clarify the stomach has a special lining that protects it from all that acid.
But yeah,
Oh,
it just goes to show how hardcore of an environment it is in there.
yeah.
Digestion is no joke.
Okay, yeah, noted. Definitely not testing that theory out anytime soon. And to wrap up our trifecta of unbelievable body facts, are you ready for this one?
Each square inch of your skin, home to around 32 million bacteria.
32 million. And it's easy to be a little freaked out when you think about it like that, right?
But really, it's actually really amazing when you think about how complex of an ecosystem exists in each of us. Most of those little guys are harmless. And a lot of them are actually good for you, like super important for your immunity, your health, the whole deal.
So it's like we're what? Walking, talking ecosystems?
Kind of, yeah. The human body really is incredible. All these interconnected systems and processes we don't even think about.
So are you ready to dive a little deeper into this whole world that's living inside you right now?
Because, we're just getting started. All right, so let's journey a little deeper into what our Portuguese source calls the hidden universe within, which, by the way, I love that phrase. Yeah.
But seriously, the sheer amount of stuff happening inside of us at any given time, it's honestly kind of mind-boggling when you really think about it.
It really is.
We've already talked a little about all the bacteria that live in us, trillions, right?
But for a second, let's zoom in on the brain.
Your brain alone has something like 100 billion neurons.
Okay, I'm going to need you to really break that number down for me. 100 billion. What does that even look like?
All right, well, picture our galaxy, the Milky Way. Hundreds of billions of stars, right?
Well, your brain. It's got a similar number of neurons.
And here's the even crazier part. Each one of those neurons can make like thousands of connections to other neurons. So you can imagine how complex that network gets.
So basically, we're all walking around with a galaxy inside of our skulls.
Huh. Suddenly, that stack of bills on my desk doesn't seem so bad.
It really puts things in perspective.
And the brain is just one example. I mean, every second, all throughout your body, literally millions of cells are regenerating. It's like this perfectly choreographed dance of renewal happening all the time.
That actually makes me think of those time-lapse videos of plants growing, where you can't see it happening in real time, but then suddenly, bam, it's like this whole process of change and growth happened right under your nose.
Exactly. It really is this whole hidden world happening that we just never really see or think about. And speaking of hidden stuff, let's talk about superpowers, because you know what? Your body has a bunch of them.
Okay, I am so ready for this. Hit me with your best shot. What kind of hidden talents are we talking about?
Well, for starters, let's talk about jaw strength. Pound for pound, your jaw muscles are insanely strong.
No way. Really? I never would have thought of my jaw as a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah, those masseter muscles that you use to chomp down.
They can generate a ridiculous amount of force, which makes sense when you think about it, right?
Our ancestors, they needed those chompers to tear and grind their food. A strong bite, essential back then.
Okay, that's actually super fascinating. I might just have to add jaw strength to my dating profile. What else you got?
How about this? Your sense of smell is way more sophisticated than you probably realize.
Like we're talking, the human nose can distinguish between a trillion different scents.
Wait, a trillion, hold on. You're telling me I have the ability to smell a trillion different things, and I'm stuck with, burnt popcorn and my dog?
Well, yeah, our modern world probably doesn't really offer up a trillion unique smells, but you get the point.
Our olfactory system, that's your sense of smell. By the way, it's incredibly sensitive. Every single scent we encounter triggers a specific reaction in the brain, which is often tied to memories or emotions.
Which totally explains why certain smells can instantly take you back to a different time or place.
Yeah,
Like for me, whenever I smell chlorine, it takes me right back to summer swim team as a kid.
exactly. Our sense of smell is deeply connected to our life experiences and memories. It just goes to show how much our bodies are interacting with the world on this whole other sensory level.
Okay, hit me with another superpower. What else can these bodies of ours do?
All right, how about this? Your eyes, they actually breathe.
Wait a minute. My eyes breathe. I've literally never thought about that, but now that you mention it,
Mm.
how else would they get oxygen? Like, they don't have tiny little noses or anything.
You got a point there. But it's not quite breathing like how we think about it. Inhaling, exhaling, all that.
The cornea, which is the outer layer of your eye, the part that's totally transparent, it actually gets its oxygen right out of the air.
Most tissues in your body, not like that. They need a blood supply for that oxygen, but not your cornea.
That's wild. Although it does make sense. Your cornea needs to be crystal clear for you to be able to see. So I guess blood vessels running through it wouldn't really work, would it?
You got it. It's really a brilliant design when you think about it, all about prioritizing function.
So we got powerful brains, crazy strong jaws, a trillion different smells, and eyeballs that breathe. Anything else I need to know about? What other kind of crazy stuff can these meat suits of ours do?
Well, all that being said, we do have to address the elephant in the room, or maybe the slightly less than perfect design flaw in the human body.
Oh, you mean like those weird quirks that we all have? Those are my favorite. Lay it on me.
All right, but before we get ahead of ourselves, we do have to remember one thing, what might seem like a design flaw. It usually exists for a reason, even if we don't fully understand it yet.
Like the appendix, for example.
Ah, yes. Exhibit A, the poster child for useless body parts.
Right. I mean, for years, doctors, scientists, whoever, they thought it was just this leftover thing from our evolutionary past. A vestigial organ, zero purpose. But recent research, starting to think it actually might play a pretty important role in keeping your gut healthy.
Hold on, the appendix. Making a comeback. Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the latest theory?
Well, there's more and more evidence showing that the appendix might actually act as a little, how should I put it? A safe house.
Yeah, a safe house for all those good bacteria in your gut.
Yeah.
So say you get a stomach bug or something that throws off the balance in your gut. The appendix can release a reserve of that good bacteria to help build your system back up.
Wow. Okay, that's actually really cool. So the appendix is like a little bomb shelter for good bacteria. I like it.
Exactly. Just goes to show you that what we think we know about the human body is always changing.
Part of me kind of wishes I still had mine.
Mm.
Almost. Okay, so what other so-called design flaws has you uncovered in your research?
Well, this one always gets me. As complex and amazing as humans are, we can't breathe and swallow at the same time.
Oh my gosh, you're totally right. It's like evolution just completely forgot to give us that memo. Why is that, anyway?
Well, it all comes down to this little area called the pharynx. Basically, it's the passageway for both your airway and your digestive tract. So when you swallow,
This little flap of tissue called the epiglottis swoops in and covers up your trachea, which is your windpipe, to keep food from going down the wrong pipe, so to speak. This system makes sure everything goes where it's supposed to. Sends that food and drink straight down to the stomach.
and prevents some very messy choking situations.
Precisely. Although it does mean we've got to take those sips and breaths one at a time.
That makes sense. But okay, what about this one? This one always struck me as a bit dramatic, honestly. So you're saying that the left lung is smaller than the right lung just to make space for the heart. Like, isn't that a bit of an overreaction?
Yeah. It sounds a little intense, I'll admit.
But remember the body. It's
Yeah.
all about efficiency, making the most out of the space it has to work with. So yeah, the left lung is a bit smaller, but that allows the heart to sit just right, which is, important for obvious reasons. Got to keep that blood pumping.
So it's all about compromise.
In a way, yeah. Our bodies are really a balancing act. And honestly, even with one lung a little smaller, they still manage to work together perfectly to make sure you're getting all that sweet, sweet oxygen.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mm.
But it really does make you wonder what other weird but necessary compromises are hiding in there, huh?
See? That's the beauty of the human body, full of surprises. But we've been chatting for a while now. What do you say we take a quick break and come back to this fascinating topic? We've still got a lot more ground to cover in the hidden universe within.
So we've explored this hidden universe that's like right there inside of us, from the electricity in our brains to, those trillions of bacteria just hanging out on our skin. We've even uncovered some of those, how do I put it, questionable design choices, which I'll admit actually make a lot of sense when you really think about them.
But you know what? We can't talk about this hidden universe within without talking about something else, something pretty incredible when you think about it.
The fact that our bodies are constantly changing.
Oh, absolutely. Our bodies are on this incredible journey from the moment we're born, always transforming. Like, take our skeletons, for example. Did you know that a newborn baby actually has way more bones than an adult?
Wait, seriously, how many more are we talking about here?
We're talking like around 300 bones when you're first born, but as you grow, a lot of those bones, they fuse together. Creates a much stronger skeleton, right?
So by the time we're all grown up, we end up with around 206 bones.
Wow. That's actually really cool. It's like our bodies are constantly upgrading themselves, getting more efficient as we go.
Right. And it's not just our bones. Even our senses, like our sense of taste, that changes as we get older too.
Oh no, wait, let me guess. You're going to tell me that incredible sense of smell I didn't even know I had is going to start to fade?
Well, our sense of smell can change a bit with age. It's actually your taste buds that get hit the hardest. Like once you hit your 60s or so, you've probably lost like half of your taste buds.
Okay, I'll be honest, that one kind of hurts. First you tell me I can't breathe and swallow at the same time, and now you're coming for my taste buds.
What's next?
Hey, it's all part of the circle of life, right? Although it is pretty cool how adaptable our brains are. Even with fewer taste buds, you can still enjoy all your favorite foods. They might just taste a little different than they used to.
You know what? You're right. Always got to look for that silver lining. But, okay, on a brighter note, this whole deep dive, it's been an absolute trip. Seriously, I am walking away with a whole new appreciation for, this crazy, incredible machine we call the human body.
Right. It's easy to forget with all the everyday stuff. But when you really stop and think about how complex it all is, everything that's happening all at once, it's pretty amazing.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we've only scratched the surface. I mean, we started out with some pretty wild stuff. Brains lighting up light bulbs, stomach acid that could melt metal, all those millions of bacteria just vibing on our skin, and it just got weirder and more fascinating from there.
You know, what I think is really incredible is that we're still learning about the human body, like
Yeah.
all the time.
New discoveries are being made every day, and everything we thought we knew about this super complex system, it's always evolving. There are so many mysteries left to uncover. For example, we didn't even have time to touch on synesthesia. Have you heard about this?
It's this condition where people's senses get all mixed up. Like imagine tasting a color or hearing a smell.
Okay, that is some next level stuff right there. Now I'm kicking myself that we don't have time to do a whole other episode on that.
Yeah.
There's always more to explore.
Exactly. That's the beauty of science. There's always a new discovery waiting around the corner.
You know what? That is the perfect note to end things on. We started out today with a deep dive into the weird, wild, and totally mind-blowing world of the human body, all thanks to some very thorough researchers over in Portugal who compiled all of these amazing facts. We learned about our own secret superpowers, the insane level of activity that's happening inside of us every second, and of course the fact that our bodies are constantly changing.
It really is a universe all its own and definitely worth exploring.
Absolutely. So the next time you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or, just normal, yeah, remember this: you are carrying around an entire universe of wonder, a universe that's capable of incredible things, and that universe, it's yours to explore. Until next time, stay curious.